Welcome back to Theme 2 Rights and Responsibilities of the AQA GCSE Citizenship course. Today we're looking at rights and responsibilities within the legal system, particularly what are the police powers. This is session 3, and so far we've looked at what the keywords are to remember and also the structure of the police force, particularly the roles and ranks of the police in the UK. We're now going to look at the difference between the Metropolitan Police, the City of London Police, and Police and Crime Commissioners. What is the difference between the Metropolitan Police and the Police and Crime Commissioners? The Police and Crime Commissioners are elected representatives who work to ensure police forces in England and Wales are running effectively. They replaced police authorities in 2012 and were intended to bring a public voice to policing. There is no PCC in London because the Mayor is responsible for policing. In London, there is a Mayor, and the Mayor is responsible for policing within London. However, there's many parts of England and Wales where there is an elected Police and Crime Commissioner. They are voted in by the citizens. The Metropolitan Police Service, on the other hand, is the police force responsible for law enforcement in the Metropolitan Police District, which currently consists of 32 London boroughs. This does not include a square mile of the City of London, which is policed by the much smaller City of London Police. What this is saying is that the Metropolitan Police Service is the police service that enforces law in the 32 London boroughs. However, this service does not enforce law in the City of London. The City of London has its separate police force, and that is called the City of London Police. And here are their logos. You may have seen an image like this on the news before. This is Scotland Yard. It is the headquarters of the Metropolitan Police Service, the territorial police force responsible for policing most of London. It is the Mayor of London who is responsible for setting policing and crime priorities for London and will hold the Metropolitan Police Commissioner to account. On this slide, we're going to look at the role of Police and Crime Commissioners in a bit more detail. What is the role of the Police and Crime Commissioner? In 2012, a new role was established called Police and Crime Commissioners, which were directly elected posts to be in charge of and accountable to the public for the workings of the police in local force areas. The elections involved both people who stood as independent candidates and candidates who stood with support of political parties, such as Labour or Conservatives. In the 2012 elections for the 41 posts that were available, the Conservatives won 16 of the posts, Labour won 13, and 12 were won by independents. The average turnout was only 15%. Each force is also headed by an appointed Chief Constable, a serving police officer who is responsible for the day-to-day management of the police force. The Police and Reform Social Responsibility Act 2011, which is a piece of legislation outlining the role of police and crime commissioners, it states that they must secure an efficient and effective police for their area, that they must appoint the Chief Constable and make sure the Chief Constable does their job well. Also, they should set aims for the police for their area through a 5-year police and crime plan. They should also set the force's budget and council tax costs to effectively deliver policing services. Also, they must contribute towards the policing services set out by the government and help to decide how the budget on policing will be spent in that area. Finally, they bring together community safety and criminal justice partners to make sure local priorities are joined up and so that the local community trusts the police. Here are 6 bullet points outlining some of the roles of the PCC. You do not need to know all of them in detail, so long as you can give a general summary of some of these, that will be fine. So who do the PCC work with? Well, they work closely with agencies and partners across the criminal justice system, such as the Director of Public Health, to prevent and tackle drug use. They work with other agencies to ensure better services and support for victims of crime, and to make sure that the crime can be reduced in that area. Where will you find them? So there are 41 policing areas across England and Wales that elect PCCs. Here are some examples: Cambridgeshire, Essex Police, Nottinghamshire Police, Dorset Police, Surrey Police, and South Wales Police. There are 4 policing areas in Wales and 37 in England. Elections take place every 4 years, and the first one was in November 2012. That's the one that I told you a bit more information about when I first introduced this slide. Here's an example of a Police and Crime Commissioner. His name is Mark Burns-Williamson. He is the PCC of West Yorkshire and belongs to the Labour Party. But remember, not all PCCs need to belong to a political party, they can also run independently, which means they are running independent from any political party. We have just completed this part of the session, where we looked at the difference between the Metropolitan Police, the City of London Police, and Police and Crime Commissioners. Next, we're going to move on to look at what the Police and Criminal Evidence Act is of 1984, as well as exploring some of the police powers using scenarios.